Hi y'all. Today I'll be doing a sort of gear review for you of some of my favorite things to wear and use while tromping around in southern Florida. I have been living here for 4 years now, so I've learned some hard lessons and I'm still learning. It won't be so much water sports like snorkeling and things like that, but more, sandy, scrubby, swampy, kind of terrestrial based tromping. Um, so I'll be sharing with you my favorite things. Not my cat. You can't have her. But in what you'll see in a moment, you'll see some brands show up over and over again. With certain items, I'm actually a brand loyalist. Much of that has to do with the quality of the products, but also some of it has to do with the values that the company actually stands for. So I am actually an outdoor Afro leader here in Miami. Outdoor Afro is a national organization that is dedicated to celebrating and inspiring Black connections to nature. So there are Outdoor Afro networks in major cities all across the country. And there are actually a bunch of companies that have sponsored Outdoor Afro and other initiatives that are to increase inclusion and diversity in outdoor spaces, and also increasing stewardship of outdoor spaces. Those brands are REI, Clean Canteen, Keen, Columbia, Yakima, just to name a few, as well as the Sierra Club, Cliff Bar. There's actually quite a few companies that really have stepped up to the plate and in making sure that the outdoors is really for everyone. So you'll see them over and over again. But actually, to be honest, half of those brands that I mentioned, I had been using for years before I even became an Outdoor Afro leader. So they are high quality and also stand for values that are important to me. And I hope as consumers that you also create a habit of putting your money where your mouth is and supporting companies that stand for things that are important to you. So, all right, let's get started. I'm going to try to move from the bottom up. So I'm going to start right away with shoes. So these are actually my very first pair of hiking boots. They're A Solos. They're your traditional all leathers. I'm 36 years old now, and I've had these since I was about 18 years old. So I've had these now for half my life. They're part of the family, and I love them. They have been all over the world with me. But I gotta admit, and I do want to let you know, I had actually worn them out to the point that the insides had completely deteriorated. I went to REI this year and got these new inserts. I had no cushion anymore. Of course, it's 18 years. To the point where I could go on a 2-3 mile hike and I wouldn't be able to feel my feet anymore. They'd actually become numb. So I want to let you know, don't do that. There are some great companies that really do provide inserts specifically for running, hiking, whatever your outdoor activity is. I hate to say it, I was ignorant of that. I didn't know. But I went to REI and they filled me in and helped me pick the correct insert. Since then, it feels like I'm walking on clouds. So I'm in love with them again, where I never stopped loving them, but I'm definitely still in love with them. And as much as these are, again, part of the family, they're the worst hiking boots for here in Florida. All right. There is a huge amount of insulation and padding to it, as well as the all leather facing. What it does is it gets it really hot, gets your foot sweating, and then the sweat can't escape, and then you just heat up, heat up, heat up. I'd actually done a light day of hiking in the Everglades last February, and was overheating. I was flush, I was overly sweating. I was drinking almost twice as much water than I was used to drinking. And my feet, when I got home, I had to put them in a bucket of cold water. They were so hot and sweaty. And I realized then that I will use these when I go to Arizona. I've even hiked in these in Arizona and didn't overheat. But Florida, with the humidity, I did. So I'll use these in Arizona. I'll use these in California, upstate New York, Colorado, all that, not for Florida. So let me show you what's for Florida. For Florida, we have our Keen Voyagers. They're a lot lighter. The insulation is a lot thinner. But the key, what I think is the magic of these, are the vents on the side. I had learned about these by calling the REI in Jacksonville. Unfortunately, there's only one REI in all of Florida, and it is 6 hours away from me. But even though I couldn't go, I called the shoe department, and the lady there was really helpful, and she told me that these are the ones that she actually uses. So that made me feel a lot more confident in my purchase. I have hiked in these extensively. Even this summer, I went to Fakahatchee Strand State Preserve in August on a rainy day. Not only did I not overheat, but my feet stayed ridiculously dry. I wasn't wading through water. I was kind of more splashing through puddles kind of a day, kind of a trail scenario. But I think what was happening is that the heat of my feet were actually drying my socks as I was walking because of the vents. The vents allow the moisture to escape out, which kept me cooler and kept my feet drier. That's what I think happened, because I was like, why are they so magical? When we were done hiking, it was a short little 5-mile hike. When we were done and I showed my friend my socks. I literally took off my shoe, took off one of my socks, and they were feeling it. And they were like, it's just barely damp. And their feet were soaked. So I love these shoes. They're very, very comfortable. And if you're not aware, you might want to get a size up on these. I normally fit a size 6, 6.5. In these, I fit a size US women's 7. I think they run a little tight, and as well as, feet swell, so you want to give a little extra room. So I go up about a half size to a size in my Keen Voyagers, and I love them. Let me show you another pair of shoes that I use a lot. So these are also Keens. They're my sandals. They're very similar to, sandals that Teva has. So I would actually say that these are my number one most used shoes. I wear them all the time, actually. And as much as I love them and as much as I do wear them, these aren't the best ones to be using for Florida. I've actually learned that. One of the things that this shoe is missing is a toe cap. And I've learned that between thorns on trails and seagrass beds and sharp limestone hidden in mud, that you want some toe caps. Luckily, I have not been injured seriously, but there have been times that I'm like, yeah, I could feel how exposed my toes are, and I wish I had a toe cap. Keen does have great water shoes that have a toe cap. So that is one of the purchases that I'm going to be making before the end of 2016. That's actually high on my list of outdoor gear to get other water shoes with a toe cap. So that's a lesson learned for me. All right, let's go to pants. So these are my favorite pants. They're Columbia. Let me actually get the name for you. They're Columbia Women's Saturday Trail 2 Stretch Convertible Pant. So they're convertible because they have this nice little zipper here that literally zips off the bottom and converts the pant into a short. But that's actually not why I love it. There's a few other reasons why I love it. One, this has kept me dry and cool and dry and warm. I've hiked with these in Yosemite on a chilly, wet April. And this was again drying with my body heat. So it kept me warm in Yosemite. But then I've also used this hiking again. I used this in August, the same Fakahatchee hike in the swamps in August on a rainy day. And it kept me dry and cool. So for some reason, these are magic pants, and it keeps me my temperature right in that moderate happy zone. Keeps me very dry. And one of the things that I also like is that it has this cinching here for the ankles, which prevents the mosquitoes from going up your pant leg. Because if there's an entry point that they can get in, they'll get in. One of the other things I like is Columbia, for an outdoor clothing store, has a history and a legacy of having cuts that are a little bit more forgiving for women who are a little bit curvy. Right? I'm a woman of color. I kind of got some thighs and some butt going on. And there are other clothing companies that really cut narrow and don't work for me. And so Columbia does. And that, again, is not just my perception. I've actually talked to people at various outdoor clothing stores, and they've said, if you're curvy, you want to go for Columbia. They tend to have cuts that work better. This one especially does have some stretch to it, so it makes it extra comfortable. So I've never been uncomfortable in these. I will say though that even though it is good for a little girl with a little bit of junk in her trunk, I still have to go a size up. So in my normal jeans, I wear a size 6 to a size 8. Most of them are a size 8 though, with 1 or 2 pairs are a size 6. I actually have to wear a size 10 in these. I often have to cinch the waist up a little bit because it's still a little tight around the thigh. So if you know that you have sort of thicker thighs or thicker butt, then still go maybe 1 size up and then just sort of cinch the waist with a belt. But some of the other clothing companies that I've run across, I can't even get it over my hips. And I'm putting on a size 12 and I can't get it over my hips. And again, I wear a size 8. I'm not that big of a girl, and there's no reason why a size 12 can't fit me comfortably. All right, I want to talk about socks before we go to shorts. There is, because I'd forgotten the socks. So there's no point in getting shoes that vent if you don't get good socks. So if you don't know, cotton kills. So be mindful of the socks that you get. I bought all 3 of these at REI online because, again, there's not one near me. So these ones are my favorite ones. Again, in Florida, you want to keep dry, you want to keep cool. This is a thin cut. There's different weights: thin, medium, and heavy. I like my medium the best. You would think that I would like the light ones best, but I'm a bit of a prima donna, and one of the things that I like about this is the bottom of the foot is really extra padded, and so when I walk, I feel like I'm walking on a cloud, and I feel fantastic. So I personally go for just a little thicker than light, but if you know that you have a history of overheating, go for lighter weight, all right? So with this one, really find the sock that works for you. Feel comfortable with experimenting with whether you want shorter socks, lighter socks, longer socks, heavier socks. The brands that are here are SmartWool, Teco. There you go. My finger's still on it. Teco, and then Darn Tough. So again, I bought them at REI online. I love all 3 of them. Don't get me wrong, but when I'm hidden, I'm like, this one, please. All right, so let's talk shorts. Prior to living in Florida, I actually never got a pair of hiking shorts. I just wear whatever I had. But here, one of the things that I learned is I'm a crotch sweater. Ha! Who would have known? New things you learn about yourself. So having shorts that dry and vent are extremely important for me. The two that I have, let me find the names for you. Here it is. The two that I have, this is the Sandy River Cargo short. I have it in Cypress Grill, and the size that I wear is a medium in this one. And then this one is the Coral Point short, and the size on this one is actually a large. So again, you do have to be careful of sizing. This one I feel the cutest in. I'm not gonna lie, I feel really, really cute in these ones. They're shorter. They hit me shorter, so they're not like long granny shorts. We've all seen sort of long granny shorts. These are not those. These are kind of cute short shorts. But one of the things that I don't like about it is that the top cut is more of a low rise. So even though I feel really cute in it, I'm actually not as comfortable in it. The Sandy River Cargo shorts, I'm not going to feel cute in it, but I can tear up some trail on this, and I have. So these are literally stained. I helped a friend paint their boat in these bad boys. I mean, if I'm spending a day of sort of hard labor where I know I'm going to be uncomfortable, the Sandy Rivers are it. If I'm just kind of hanging around on the beach, in and out of something, I'm going to go cute and go with my Coral Points. So again, be mindful of what cut you like, and then get according for you. Let's stay on the crotch. Again, I learned I'm a crotch sweater. So one of the things that I've had to do is actually buy hiking panties, which dry quickly. Both of these I bought through REI, and they are the, where's the name of it? They're both the exact same brand. They're the Exoficio brand. I'll put links to everything down in the stuff, but I really, again, you only need two. You don't need a whole lot. If you're backpacking, these really do dry like very quick, so you can wash it, leave it overnight. It'll be dry by the next day. So these have made my lady very happy. And one of the things that I've learned is in Florida, that's actually pretty important. So again, in Arizona, upstate New York, other place, Colorado, I've lived in Colorado, other places that I've been, it just has not been an issue. But in Florida, I cannot hike in any other panties than these. As a side note, ladies, I will tell you that pads don't stick to it well. Not that hiking in pads is comfortable anyway, but I just figured you should know, from me to you. The bra that I just use a standard sports bra for now. I am not in love with it. I do need to invest time into finding a good hiking bra for me. I've tried a few times, and each time I've not been in love. So I've just kind of gone cheap for now, so that I don't at least feel that I'm wasting money on something that I don't like. If you're not aware, one of the things that I love about REI is you can return some things. I don't know if they'll accept panties and bras back. Probably not. You want to check with them first. But like shoes and tents and hammocks and clothing. There was actually a pair of thermals that I returned. It was Patagonia thermals. I was not in love with them. And they accept it with no questions asked, even after you've used them. So you get to really hit that trail, try it out. If you don't like it, you didn't waste your money, because we are aware that these things are costly, but they're an investment. They really are. So let's keep going. We're going to go up. I have two shirts that are my favorite, and they're both Columbia. Surprise, surprise. I love Columbia, and if you haven't gotten it too, I also love the color coral. So I have my tank top Columbia shirt, and then I have my long sleeve Columbia shirt. They're both PFG, and they both kind of have the sunscreen built into these. So, find the cut that works for you. For me, this tank top is a large. and this is also a large. They do fit me a little roomy, but I'm also a little bit bigger around the chest. So I have only sort of one problem point, but that's what I have to dress around. So, but I love these and have been very, very comfortable with these. Let's keep going to outer rain gear. So prior, I had my Goretex jacket from EMS that I think I bought in like 98 or 99. I mean, I've had this baby for a long time. Again, this sucks for living in Florida. Even the collar is lined in fleece. Again, that was great for when I was living in Boston in college. But living in Florida, number one, it's heavy, it's bulky, and it's hot. It's hot as hell. So those things don't work. A very light shell works for me. So what I use is, this is the Columbia. It is Columbia still. The Evaporation Premium. So it has the titanium technology that is like their thing right now. And it swishes down really, really small, which I'm very, very pleased with. So it can, it doesn't take a lot of space in my pack. It's very light. And as far as rain jackets go, it actually keeps me fairly cool in the hot, sort of muggy, rainy situation. It has these nice little zippers to vent all around. There's, and I'm just very pleased with it. I like this one here that's just really a pocket, but what's great is that there's some mesh. Again, they use it as a pocket, but I like to use it as a vent where the mosquito still can't get to me. So I may not open up my underarms, but I'll open up the pocket so that the mosquitoes don't get into my jacket while I'm hiking. Let's keep going up. I have my sun protection. Again, if you haven't caught the theme, I'm a big lover of Columbia. I have for years. Their gear has never let me down. It lasts forever. And my body just feels really comfortable in it. So let's keep going. Let's talk mosquito repellent. So right now I'm using either one of these. This is Repel 100. It is literally 98% DEET. It's kind of intense. I will tell you that I had a party at my house and someone actually sprayed this and then sat down on one of my chairs and literally some of the varnish came off on the chair. This is no joke. But it's also no joke, and I went into, again, Fakahatchee 5 Mile in August and didn't have a single mosquito bite, I don't think. It was like nothing. It's good for 10 hours. I love it. If you're a naturalist for sort of more sandy, scrubby, or short-term ones, I'll use this Cutter Lemon Eucalyptus. It's DEET-free, but there was a study that NPR had published that said that this has the same effectiveness as DEET mosquito repellent up to 4 hours. After that, the efficiency has worn down. One of the things that one of my swamp-loving friends have taught me is there's actually mosquito repellent that you can actually soak your clothes in the night before so that your clothing becomes mosquito repellent in and of itself, and that it doesn't eat away your clothes the way that these will eat away or stain your clothing. I have not tried that out myself, but I'll tell you that my friend Tobias, who lives in the swamp, he's my swamp man, that's the only mosquito repellent he really uses. Is he'll put it in a bucket, soak it in this chemical, and then let it dry overnight, and then that's what he puts on to go into the swamp. So I trust him on that. He grew up in Florida. He's a Florida swamp guy. I just personally haven't experimented with it, but along with new water shoes, that's one of the things that are high on my list to learn about and add to my gear. Let's keep going. Let's talk hydration. So I'm in love with Clean Canteen. You know, again, they're one of the companies whose values I respect. I love their big ones to go out in, but I actually really love their insulated. So I will say this is the largest one of the insulated that I have. One of the other purchases I need to get is this guy insulated. I have put cold water in here and left this bottle in my car. Florida, hot, sun, day. And hours later, I come back and the water is still cool inside this insulated can. So, I don't know what kind of witchcraft um, they're pulling, but the fact it's really nice when you're out hiking and still get some nice cool water. My uninsulated bottle doesn't do that for me, but it's great to just grab, and I also have an emotional attachment to this one, to be honest. When I go on much longer hikes where I may not want sort of a heavy metal bottle, one of the things that I really love are the bladders. So if you haven't tried a bladder, go ahead and get one. Um, there are insulators for the bladders if you want to keep it even further cool. To me, it's like I just don't want it piss warm, but I don't need it ice cold. So, when I go on longer hikes, I will use these. Um, let's talk day packs. I think that's what we'll end with. Um, my day pack is by Kelty. So is my backpack actually. So I've had this Kelty backpack for maybe 12, 13, not quite 15 years. I haven't had it quite 15 years, but almost 15 years. I love it. So one of the things I love is the amount of padding on it. It's ridiculously comfortable. It has, all sorts of pockets in it. Because of the amount of padding on the back of it, when I put my bladder in here, what's interesting is the padding itself will act as an insulator for my bladder so that it actually stays cold in here for a pretty long time. So again, you may not need an insulator around your bladder depending on what your pack is like. So I have literally one of the zippers. This zipper moves. This zipper no longer moves anymore, and I will never give this up. I love this bag. It doesn't hurt my back. What is it? It's the Stinger. They don't even make it anymore, but it doesn't matter. It's mine. I love it. What I have gotten from REI for my Stinger is let me look up the name for you. It is the... Where are you? It is the Duck Back Rain Cover. And what this is it's a pack cover to go over my pack. So, it's light and small enough. I actually keep it in my Kelty day pack all the time. So if I'm tromping around and it starts raining, it doesn't matter. I just put this on my backpack. I did learn this the hard way. Again, this was one of those things that I was not ready and then learned that I absolutely needed this. So you might want to think about that. And then the last thing that I want to show you is my Cotopaxi day pack. I got this in my Karen box, which if you've seen my videos before, you know I love it. I only use this for short hikes, but one of the reasons why I like it is it's interesting. Remember I was saying my Kelty has all that padding, which makes it very, very comfortable, but it also makes it very hot. So my Cotopaxi has very little padding on the shoulder straps, no padding on the back. And so it actually keeps me cooler, but it also means that it'll wear me down a little bit more, and it does not insulate any of my bottles. So that uninsulated clean canteen bottle, or if you have Nalgene's, things like that that are uninsulated, they get piss warm ridiculously quick in a pack like this. All right, just really does. Um, but again, it'll keep you cool. So you have to decide for yourself, uh, do you want your water cool? Do you want you cool? How much padding do you need on your shoulder for yourself to be comfortable? So I know that heavy water weighs on me very much. So again, I take out my Kelty for anything that's longer than 2 miles. I'm bringing my Kelty. But anything that's less than 2 miles, like when I'm going Pokemon hunting or something with my friends and, there's restaurants nearby and we're stopping and resting all the time, I'm going to bring my Cotopaxi with me. Because it's nice and cool, because there's literally no lining on it. So, if you are used to hiking in subtropical to tropical environments, please leave your tips below. Again, I'm still learning, and there's, as you can see, also there's gear I need to buy and have on my wish list. So see you next time. I will be reviewing my September Karen box soon, and I will put links to things in the bottom as well. Again, all the things that I showed you here, so you can find some of those things. All right. See you on the flip side. Bye.